So be careful what you say, don't pick your nose, all these other things. He's filming himself today, and he is giving us a speech out of the Persuasive Speaking Manual. It is project number 3, and his speech is entitled Something That We All Need to Do, and those of us that have any zeal will be bouncing back.
Have you ever noticed how children are so ready to overcome failure? I noticed when my son was learning how to walk, he could take a couple steps, he'd pull up to a chair or a table, and he'd take a step or two and he'd fall down, boom. He might look back at you, but right away he would get back up and he'd take a couple more steps and boom, he'd fall again. But children are so amazing because they don't care how many failures they have like a God-given kind of confidence that if they keep going, they're going to be able to master what they do. And eventually, he did master it, just like I'm sure all of your children did, they were able to walk. Another quality that children have that I think is so phenomenal is they have the ability to forgive almost instantly. When they were fighting among themselves, my daughter and sons, one of the things that I noticed is that a few minutes later, they'd be playing again, like nothing had ever happened. Like nothing was wrong. If I scolded them, I would still be mad at them for what they did, but they would not be mad at me 5 minutes later. They come with me and they want to jump on me and play with me, and I'll be like, I'm mad at you for the way that you acted, and they've forgotten all about it. Wouldn't it be great if we could get that childlike confidence that no matter how many times we fall down, if we keep trying, we'd be able to walk? Or how many times life threw us something that we didn't want, we would still be able to forgive it and not take on a victim mentality, but we would be able to go forth and be the best that we could be. In the Bible, it talks about we must become as little children to inherit the kingdom of God. It'd be great to have that state, but we first have to find out where it is. Just like any journey, you have to find out where you're going before you can ever get there. Fortunately for us, science has identified the brain state, the brain waves that children have. And there are really 4 brain waves that we have. There's delta, theta, alpha, and beta. When children are infants, they're always sleeping. Just like at night when we go to sleep, we go into the delta brain wave. Unconscious, we don't really know what's going on, deep sleep. The next phase that the infants go into is the age about 2 to 6, they go into theta. And this is where all our subconscious beliefs about ourselves are formed. Whether we can do this or we can do that. And it's amazing when you see little kids, they think they can do anything. When they walk, if they try to go downstairs, they think they can walk down the steps and they can't. Because, oh, you can't do that. I was at the baseball game with my grandson about a month ago, and he wanted to go play with the people that were out on the field. Well, he can't do that. Well, his father told him, he said, well, when we get back, what I'm going to do is I'll sign you up to play baseball. He's only 3 years old. All he heard was sign me up. He said, sign me up, I can go play now. Of course, they can't do it, but it'd be great to have that kind of confidence and belief and faith that you could do that. That's in that theta brainwave. The next brainwave is alpha, where there's like deep relaxation and meditation, and then beta, that's where we are right now. We're listening, we're alert, we're alive, we can hear everything that's going on. We make logical decisions and we say we can do this and we can't do that. The only problem with beta is that we're very limited in what we think we can believe, or what we think we can accomplish. Oh, I can't do that. Well, Delaney could do it, but I can't do it. Or Billy could do it, but I can't do it. Or Diane could do it, or so on and so on and on. We have all these limiting beliefs about ourselves. Well, in Dr. Al Cyber's book called The Resiliency Advantage, he talks about how we can switch that. And we can switch that with a question of whatever happens to us, we say, what's good about that? There's a story about this young man who was in college. His name was Bill Harris. And he developed this music. He loved it. It was these just pure waves of music. And he, by listening to him on headphones, he could alter his emotional state, and he could go into that theta brainwave where he would be really creative. And so he and his friend, when they graduated from college, they had a few jobs. Then they decided to form this company. After about a year, they had a few customers, not many, about 40 or so. They weren't making very much money. And every day they went into the garage, and they made this music, put it on CDs and sell it, and every day they would come back. Until the day that they got a lawsuit from a company for $1 million. They panicked. They're like, oh my God, that could wipe us out. They didn't have a corporation, they just had a sole proprietorship. So if they lost this lawsuit, they could take their house, car, everything. They're like, what are we going to do? They decided they were going to go talk to an attorney. The attorney delivered more bad news and said it would cost them about $150,000 to defend this lawsuit. They didn't have $150, let alone $150,000. They were really panicking. Long story short, after they got to having this pity party, Bill decided, what if my company was really worth defending for $150,000? What if I had this multi-million-dollar conglomerate? He said, I'd probably be an author, a speaker in high demand. I'd have hundreds of employees around me. And so he started writing down all these things that he would have and looking at this situation is, what's good about this? And he came up and he started finding out ways to hit all these objectives. Meanwhile, his partner just wanted out. So he bought his partner out for $1, and he promised any lawsuits that come through and they lose, he'd pay for them. Year after year went by. After 15 years, all those goals that he thought about, the hundreds of employees, the big speaker engagements, the books, everything came true. He settled that multi-million-dollar lawsuit for $7,000, and he had 160,000 customers in 72 countries around the world. Just from asking that question, when something goes wrong, what is good about this? I challenge you, as you go forward today, to ask that question when little things bother you or big things bother you. What's good about this? Find out what is good about it. Start listing those things as goals, and your life will change over the next year. You will look back and say, every single curse that came to me was a blessing in disguise. And you'll go forward, and you will realize your full potential like you've never done before. Madam President.
Madam Timer,
Yes,
could you tell us if both of our speakers qualified?
both qualified.
At this point in time, just to save a little time, would you please mark your ballots for whoever you thought was the best speaker, Debbie Atris